Hello everyone and welcome to this week's webinar. Today we're going to see how you can set up your Revit model before you start framing with MWF. So as you can see, I have this little house here. Again, it's comparatively a smaller project, and we're just going to basically set up this Revit model even before we start using any features under MWF. And yeah, let's just get started. So I think first and very obvious thing that comes up to my mind would be I would just want to resave this file. Again, just create a copy or just resave this file, keeping in mind that if this becomes the framing model, I would want to get rid of some obvious components from this project, such as plumbing fixtures and your furniture, etc. Right? So it's very important to either resave or just create a local copy. So that's what we're gonna do first thing first. So I'm just gonna save as a project. I'm just gonna name it test 101. I'm just gonna save this. Just give it a second. Perfect. Okay, so since we've saved the copy now, this could be my framing only project. Again, it's depending on your workflow, but that's what this project's gonna end up being a frame project, at least for this case. And yeah, so secondly, you wanna just basically get rid of, again, as I said, your furniture and etc. So what we're gonna do is just we're gonna hide them. So I'm just going to mask select this, check none. So we're going to start with your furniture, obviously your plumbing fixtures, might as well just do the specialty equipment, and that's pretty much it. I think I'm just going to leave it. I think we're just going to hide the furniture and fixtures for the plumbings and EH for the height, so our project looks much cleaner this way. Okay, next we need to purge. So for that, we're just gonna go to manage, and you have this feature called purge unused. What it does is, again, as the feature says, it removes unused families and types from a project. So this is very important before you load any families or use the load data feature that comes out of the box with MWF. So what we're gonna do is just click on purge unused, and as you can see, it will check almost 1,050 items. So we're just gonna click OK, and it will just basically get rid of the unused families from the project, just to make it the size of the project a little bit smaller. I usually run it multiple times, probably 2 should be enough. Again, as you said, it's gonna check 60 items this time, but that should be enough. Once you do that, again, you're basically ready to load the families in your project. The best way to do this is basically, again, this is going to be the time where we're gonna use MWF a little bit. So we're just gonna switch to the wall module, and under settings tab, you'll find this feature called load data. It just basically loads the preliminary MWF settings to the project. So we're just gonna click on load data. And here it's important that you load both framing and MWF components. Again, if you need to see where this root directory is, basically all you need to do is just click on the MWF tab, and you would find this feature called home directory. And once you click on this, oh, it's on my other window, you should be able to this path. Basically, it's your program data, followed by Soft Solutions, followed by the Revit ear that you use, followed by walls, if you're working with walls, floors, or trusses, your framing components, imperial, and then standard, and then you would find all the families that you need to load. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this for now. We're gonna go back to settings, load data, and we're just gonna load both framing and MWF components. Okay, so framing components includes all the vertical members, all the horizontal members, all the framing members, and MWF components basically consist of family, that is your nails, anchor bolts, hold-ons, clips, etc. Okay, so we're just gonna click OK, and it takes basically a second just to load all of that data. That also includes your markers, your joints, and so on. Okay, so we're done with the loading data. Now we just need to load families. The way you can do it is just go through insert and click on your load family. And here we just need to follow the same path that we just seen. So your local disk C, program data. Again, we're just going to go structural solutions, Revit you're using, walls, framing component, and imperial. And we're going to go standard, and that's it. Okay. So I'm going to frame this project using basically our dimension lumber family. But again, if you're using LGS, you can just click on the BMSF SSMS family. Okay. We're just going to click on, as I said, dimension lumber family, open, and this is basically your types. So depending on what members you frame with, I'm just going to select 2x3, 4, 2x3, till 2x12, and click on OK. And override the existing with the parameter values. And that should be it. So that's basically some steps that you need to do even before you start framing. So far we've successfully just purged all unnecessary files and families from this project, and we've imported all the necessary MWF components and framing components to the project. Now you can start with assigning different view templates or just creating different 3D views. Basically what I like is to have a different view for each level, and I always make the walls and floors a little transparent. As you can see here, they're already transparent, but if you need to do it, all you need to do is just either override the graphics through element, or you can just open your visibility graphic settings, find walls, and just override the transparency to I like it 60%, but it's totally up to you. So you could just override the transparency through here. Okay, you just click OK, and again, as I said, you can actually create a new template from view template from your current view, or just have something like that I have here created. This is my ground level, and this is basically the first level of this house. And again, if you have your walls transparent, it just helps you see what's going on inside with the framing, and you could see the members a little better. Okay, so that is totally up to you how you can do it, and same goes for your floors too. Just override the transparency for your floors, and you can just create multiple views for the floor specific as well. Okay. Secondly, we need to also check the wall types. So for example, I'm just gonna take one wall here. As you can see, I can see my wall type under here, properties. I'm gonna click on edit properties, and if I just expand this window a little bit, for the single layer wall, I think it is very important. Again, this is more like a multi-layer wall, but that your structure layer stays between core boundary. So you want to set up your wall type accordingly, in which basically your structure layer, as I said, stays in between your core boundary. If you have more than one layer in between your core boundary, MWF might give you an error. Okay, so this is again very important to consider when you select the wall type. Other than that, everything seems okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if you need to split walls, as you can see, I have already split the walls here using the split element tool under Revit. But if you don't want to use that, you also have a feature under MWF that I'll quickly show you, in which basically what you can do is just you can have one single wall profile, and you can just create multiple framing panels underneath that same wall profile. Okay. Markers, and you should be able to see here. It's called vertical split by wall, vertical split by rule, or vertical split by benchmark. We do have multiple ways of splitting the wall. So when you click on create, you also have the split points menu here. What it does, it just basically places split marks. Let's say if we want to have two wall panels underneath the same profile, right? All you need to do is just click on offset, determine what should be the offset between, or what should be the offset of the split marker. Let's say if it's 2 or 4 feet, you just add it here and click on create, and that will basically split your framed wall panels. Now we're almost done with the setting up these walls. A couple more things that I would like to mention. I would also see the way my walls are joined. As you can see here, again, you would be using a join marker to configure your join conditions. So it's very important that you configure your joints according to your preferences. Alongside with, I would also select my opening basically and just check them. The way you can do it is basically, I would just first go to edit properties. I need to go back for a second. Oh, no, thank you. Back to my current level. And I will just click on edit properties. And just to make sure that my rough width and rough height are set. If not, I mean, it's totally up to you. You can also have some of the opening marker settings that use this parameter, both your rough width and height, so you can also come here and change that. Other than that, I would also go to basically edit the opening type. I would click on the reference level, and basically here I would see the center line, and I would make sure that it is indeed in the center with this opening, because MWF will frame around the center line. So it is really important to make sure that this is actually placing in the center. If not, you can just manually adjust this and load back into the project. Okay, so make sure you are aware of that. I'm just going to close this, and no, thank you. And that is pretty much it when it comes to the walls. Now we can move to floors. So as you can see, for the level 1, I have my floors here. Again, it's just a sample project, so they don't have to look accurate, but I can just change the yeah, this should be, the visual solid should be okay. The way this works is basically you can have openings in your floors, but if you're using the floor cutter tool, it would just consider your opening as a floor as well. So if you have model lines around your openings on floors, MWF will just frame it as is. There's another way you can actually create an opening and basically manage it the way you want to frame around it, but that's something that you would find under MWF, under opening manager, and you can just frame around it. So a couple things that I would check. I can basically just start with the edit type. I would make sure that I have appropriate members loaded for the joist that goes with the type of the floor that I have. I would edit type and go to the edit properties, and here basically it is very similar to what we've seen with the walls. I would make sure I would pay attention to my finish layer and what material it is using, especially if you're using the sheathing tool that also comes with MWF. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this. I would also click on edit boundary and make sure everything's in closed loop. I know it is a fairly simple profile for the wall, but depending on the typical floor that you use, it is always important to make sure that everything's in a closed loop. Now again, if you need to split the floors, floor panels, apologies for that, all you need to do is just basically have a model line. So that's something that I'm going to do here. So I would have a monoline. So let's say if I just need to split this floor into keeping the same profile, just need to split the floor. All I need to do is just basically select both floor and the model line, and I will use this feature called floor cutter. And I would see this pop up. Again, you have your floor type necessarily. It is the same that you chose, but you also have an option to change them. Alongside with this, you have this feature which basically says delete the original floor. I usually do not check this feature, but what it does is basically it will split your floors into two while keeping the original floor as is. I'm not sure if you need to have some sort of dimensions of what the floor originally was. It could be useful, but in my practice, I usually don't check this, and we're just gonna click on OK. So as you can see, now our floor is basically split into two. Okay. I would also like to show you that you can also have some of the panels created just like this outside your project with different kinds of openings, and basically that helps you set up your templates. You can have different templates saved in your template manager. So if I just go ahead and open this, and let's say if I go to the wood, as you can see, you can have multiple templates such as your 2x3, 2x4 with different opening conditions, etc. And you can set up everything according to your preferences. Again, how do you want to frame a door? What opening marker do you want to use when it comes to windows, or when it comes to the walls that has no openings? You can have as many templates as you want, right? Again, if you basically use the same framing condition across your projects, you also have an option to export these templates. So basically you need to work on them, or basically you need to set them up once, and you can just use them across different projects. You can always export them and import them in a brand new project and use the same template over and over again. So I think that's also something that you can do with all the different wall types available. You could do same with the floors. Again, you just need to switch to the floor module, and when you click on template manager, you would be able to see different, as you can see here, different templates that I've already saved or comes out of the box with the default template folder. Again, you can just create your own templates and just export them and keep using them across different projects. Now let's talk more about how you can basically, frame both walls and floors, and basically have everything aligned, all the stud members, ideally how you want to align them. For that, we have a new feature under settings called project benchmark. Now the way this feature works is basically what it does is, again, as I said, it just aligns your floors and wall studs, right? What you want to do is basically first thing first, we have to place. So we're gonna go and click on the project benchmark, and you would have this window pop up for you. Again, under benchmark type, you would see two different types of benchmark. One's the default, which is more like a point, and the second one's a rectangular grid. It speaks for itself. It's a rectangular grid. When it comes to aligning studs with each other, I think this goes a little better. So we're gonna click on default. Then you have prefix, so we're just gonna call it BM for benchmark. And initial sequence number, I'll just keep it as 1. And then you basically need to turn on different templates. Okay, we're working with the wood, so we're gonna turn on all the wood templates for basically your wall module, floor module, and rafters. Okay, and once you click OK, it will ask you basically where you want to place this benchmark. So let's just place it somewhere over here. Okay, now what we want to do is just basically frame walls. So we're going to start with selecting walls and click on create. We're going to click on template, and under default template you would find this template called wood benchmark, which wasn't there before. Okay, so we're going to set this as active, select close, and create. Okay, we're going to click on OK. All right, so as you can see, my wall member basically is aligned with this benchmark, and it doesn't matter if I move the benchmark, the studs will shift accordingly. Okay, the second thing is I need to frame the floor, so I'll do that. Just gonna select floor here and click on OK, and we will switch to floor module, and we're going to click on create. And here again you would find the same template called wood benchmark, and we're going to click on frame it now and click on create. Okay, our floor is ready. Sometimes if you don't see the members, that is because your view range is not set up. So we're going to click on edit. You can actually extend the preview just to get the better idea of what we're doing, but basically your view depth is set to 0, so that is going to be your number 4. Yes, number 4, as you can see here. All you need to do is just put negative value. I'm gonna put negative 3 feet. Negative 3 inches. And let's see, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so as you can see, your members are now aligned with the benchmark. I think the only reason the rest of are not aligned is because the spacing between your floor members are not as same as spacing between your studs. So you can just simply go ahead and change it through MWF. That's not a big deal, but this is basically the purpose of the project benchmark, just to help you align your member with each other. And that basically wraps up our webinar on how you can set up your Revit model. Again, we did go through some very simple and basic strategies on how you can set up your Revit model before you start framing using MWF. Thank you guys so much for your time, and see you guys in 2 weeks.